and welcome to episode 48 of the Red Mountain Express. I am Blake Westbrook. Joining me always is Matthew Joyner, and joining me always is now Patrick Tucker. Did I say that right?
It's close enough.
See? I mean, because y'all join me always now.
Oh, except for when we don't.
You know, Matthew's been here I've been here for all the shows.
You're
Matthew's
the only constant.
Well, that's about right for everything, you know. How was everybody's week? Everybody doing all right?
Yep, doing great.
Yeah, good. Well, let's get started. Now we have to do a new format still. I'm going to talk about the news, and we'll get on to some not-so-serious stuff in the second half of the show. But just some upcoming things happening in Birmingham. The Alabama Theater Summer Film Series is continuing through the month of July. On July 6th, they'll have the Grease Sing-Along, which I know, Patrick,
I love it.
You'll be there.
I'll be there.
The Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder on July 8th. Edward Scissorhands on July 13th, which I think Matthew says is, what did you say? It's
weird.
It is probably the most weird/good movie, like combination of the two, weird/good.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. Tim Burton, he's a unique mind.
Him and Johnny Depp, they're still making movies together. You know?
And Helena Bonham Carter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's married to her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
And Johnny Depp.
And then The King and I on July 15th. But also, I didn't mention this in our...
July 20th.
Just wait.
Oh.
Okay, so I didn't mention that the best part of the summer film series starts on July 20th, and that is Christmas in July. Christmas Vacation on July 20th, which I love that show.
Amazing movie.
Yeah, Matthew will be there in his Cousin Eddie get-up.
Look, I love that movie as much as any man at this table, but Christmas in July hurts my heart.
Oh,
a
come
little
on.
bit.
No, it
doesn't.
doesn't.
I can't do it.
You know what? You just have a cold heart.
Bah, Humbug.
Exactly. Humbird. White Christmas will be on July 22nd. They're doing a double feature. That'll be in the afternoon, and then at night it'll be Elf. So go check that out at the Alabama Theater. You can go to alabamatheater.com and purchase tickets.
I think that may be my favorite Will Ferrell movie.
Is it your favorite Will Ferrell? I don't know. I don't know if it's my favorite.
It's the one I've seen the most.
It's definitely the one I've seen the most.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the one I've seen the most.
I watched it in the theater.
Old School was probably the one I've seen the most of.
I saw
School's
Elf in the
great.
theater 3 times.
Yeah.
I was committed to that movie.
Does Wedding Crashers really count as a Will Ferrell movie? I know he's in it.
He's in it a pretty good bit.
No, he's not. He's just
Yeah,
like in,
he's
there's
kinda
2
at the
scenes. He's
end.
in it 2 scenes. He's in the one in the living room.
Oh,
Ah,
no,
the
sorry.
meatloaf.
I was thinking of Old School. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
You
Old
got me.
School.
Yeah.
Old School is a Will Ferrell movie. Like,
Yeah, that
he's
is.
Frank
Yeah.
the Tank.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So go check that out. It's a great theater. Of course, they have the World's Organ, and like I said, you can check them out on alabamatheater.com. Also, since this is July 4th week, there will be Thunder on the Mountain. I believe it's going to start at 9, the fireworks at Vulcan. And then after that, they're going to debut the new lights that will be at Vulcan from now until the next probably 20, 30 years. What's so special about the lights again, Matthew? Are they like LED?
They are LED.
Yeah.
So it's the same people that did the lighting at the Empire State Building
Oh, so you know
put this
it's good.
together. So it should be legit. But yeah, I think they'll just have the ability to light it up for different events like breast cancer awareness, or it'll be pink, or different Christmas will be red and green or whatever. I don't know.
Which I know Matthew will hate.
As long as they do it at Christmas time,
Yes,
I think
in
he'll be fine with
December.
it.
Yeah.
Starting November 3rd.
Gotta wait until at least after Thanksgiving.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No, I don't.
So in other news,
In other news, Joe Pendry has been named the general manager of the Birmingham football team.
With no name yet.
With no name yet. For those who don't know who Joe Pendry is, he was the offensive line coach for Coach Nick Saban for Alabama's 2007 through 2010 squads. He's the one that kind of recruited that famous offensive line in 2012. He kind of got that all together. But then after 2010, he became a special advisor for Nick Saban, helped him recruit and land potential targets for the University of Alabama. He also has 21 years of NFL experience with the Browns, the Cheifs, also
the
with
Texans.
the Texans and the Bills. That's good. I mean, he's got NFL experience. He can kind of recruit players. He knows what to look for. But also, he's been in the college ranks, so he can probably recruit players that maybe cannot make it to that NFL level. So I think it's a good hire. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think he's a great addition. He's obviously got a lot of credentials and experience. And I think he's familiar with the talent in this area. So,
do y'all think this team kicks off eventually?
I do.
I do too.
I think it's going to make
And
it.
I think a hire like this makes it look like that's more likely to happen than not.
Okay.
So do you think? Are you thinking overall the league is just never even going to happen, or you just think the Birmingham team is just not going to?
No, I have there's nothing against the Birmingham. It's these leagues have popped up every few years, and they've never really taken off. The only ones that really took off were the USFL, and the reason why the USFL folded was they were actually thriving as a spring league. They had Herschel Walker, they had Jim Kelly, they had a bunch of big stars. But then they decided to go to a fall format and go head-to-head with the NFL, and just was not going to work. And if you've ever seen, there's I think it's a 30 for 30 of why who was the reason the USFL failed, and they ended up saying it was Donald Trump because he owned the New Jersey Generals, and he was the one that convinced him to go to fall, and because he wanted to sell the team. And
and he was mad at NFL owners because they had slighted him at some point previously. If I remember right,
not giving him a team.
I think it's something like that, right?
Are you telling me that this man is vindictive?
Look, I've never met the man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't make an official call on
Just
that.
throwing that out. So, but no, I'm not saying it's going to fail. I'm just I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think it'll kick off. I don't know if they'll have the long-lasting success of, which that remains to be seen. But I think they'll make it to at least the first season.
Well, the one thing that they have that USFL had, and I guess XFL had it too, but that helped it kind of get off the ground was they have a television deal with CBS Sports. Mm-hmm. So that's revenue already on the table. But the big thing is having to get people in the stands to watch the games and also put a good product on the field because, the XFL had, NBC owned 50% of the
right.
league, and they had TV audiences, but then they put out a terrible product.
Right.
So it's all about the product, and so we'll see. I mean, I hope it succeeds.
Do you think the XFL is going to kick off again?
No,
I don't think it'll make it.
We talked about that story several months back, and
right.
even talking about it then, I just don't think that's likely to happen.
And I don't want it to. It was bad. It was bad.
There may be
football.
some people that want it to. I've not met a person that wants it to.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, but if you're listening to this and you're a person that wants it to, let us know. Like
we have the Birmingham Bolts. Is that right?
We'll have you on the show.
Let's talk to you
can
about
explain why you want to see the XFL kick off again.
We're gonna get some hate mail now.
I mean, look, there are plenty of different types of sports in the Birmingham area to watch and be a part of. I think
new soccer teams coming to town.
New soccer teams coming. We've got UAB football. We've got Alabama and Auburn within a stone's throw. If you're not into those teams, you've got other southern teams around that are easy to get to.
You forgot to mention UAB.
Yeah, I did say UAB.
Oh, you said UAB football.
Yeah.
There are other sports.
There are other UAB sports. Sorry, where I'm thinking about football right now. There are tons of sports in the area all throughout the year. We've even got a hockey team. Like, what else do you need?
That's true. Just kind of get out of Birmingham. But, Atlanta has a MLS team. And the other day, they had like the second largest crowd in the world for soccer on that week. Yeah. This is with the World Cup going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
It shows you that soccer is a thriving sport in the South.
I think we'll rival them as far as like getting crowds into the games.
When you looked at like World Cup like TV viewership rankings, like Birmingham is like number.
That's what I'm saying.
3 or something. Or
yeah, it's pretty high up
It's
there.
amazing. So, hopefully that team will do very well. But like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about the AAF team and kind of ready for them to name the team.
Yeah, I am too.
So we'll see. Tell us about the new police chief we got coming.
So moving forward, Patrick Smith has taken command as Birmingham's new police chief. I think he started earlier this week. Yeah, Monday, June 25th. He's coming to us from the Los Angeles Police Department. He worked there for several years. He's a native of Tuscaloosa, and there's a story here in the Birmingham Times where he has an envelope that he's carried with him throughout his career. And when he got the call from Mayor Woodfin that he was going to take this or offer this job, and he took the job, brings this envelope with him, and on that envelope are 4 words that simply say, "Become
Birmingham Police Chief."
Yeah, it was Chief of Police Birmingham. Yeah. I want to make sure I had that right. So this man has wanted this job from like a child, and that's insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, like. He's from Tuscaloosa, right?
He's from Tuscaloosa.
And he worked for the LAPD, and his goal was to become the Birmingham police chief.
I mean, and that's awesome.
Man,
like, he had that dream. He set out to do it, and here he is. So, big warm welcome to him. I'm eager to see what he does in office.
Yeah, he said the first thing he wanted to do was get to know all the neighborhoods in Birmingham.
That's 99 neighborhoods and 23 communities.
So that's really good. He wants to get out in the neighborhood and kind of, feel his way around. L.A. is 4 million people, so I mean he's going from a big city like that to a relatively small city. So hopefully he can bring some good experience with him, and hopefully he can make our city better. Because that's, I think, is what we hope for.
Yeah, I think this is a really good hire. I hope it plays out that way. But I know this is something Randall Woodfin's really focused on, is improving the safety in all of our neighborhoods in the city. So I think this will be good. I like his just the words that I've heard from him so far makes it sound like he's really invested in this and going to be out there in the community making things better.
Wasn't he a Marine?
He was a Marine.
He was.
So, I mean, he's
and then he had 28 years at the LAPD.
Yeah, tons of experience in his career. Still a fairly young man for this position. I mean, he's 53. I think I read that right, or 54. Has his youngest kid, I think, is in high school, is a senior in high school. And everything I've read about him, like looking at some of his career stuff in LA and then looking at the stuff he's talked about here in Birmingham, seems like he's really motivated to get out there and do a good job.
And he was there when the LAPD in the early 90s had a bad reputation.
There was a lot of stuff going on in the 90s.
And then, now the LAPD has improved. At least you've heard stories about how they've improved so much and how the police force is more more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Professional?
Yeah, maybe that's they're more professional. They're more of a reflection of the community they serve, and so I think that's really good for him to go into a police force that needed to see a change, and he had been there through the whole time and saw that change. And maybe he can. I'm not saying that our police force needs to change, but I mean he can probably see some areas that we need to improve on. But we're glad to have him, and I think he took office on June 25th
on Monday. This last Monday.
So he's already at work, and we wish the best for him. So that's good. In other Birmingham news, to go back to our theme of improvements in the downtown area, the Sheraton is going to get some major renovations. A few years back, they did some small minor renovations. They did some painting, and they did some small changes to the hotel. This is bigger. Back in 2016, Sheraton is owned by Starwood, and they were bought by Marriott. And so Marriott started talking about how they wanted to upgrade the Sheraton hotels. They're still in the early planning stages, but they want to upgrade the rooms, the lobbies, public spaces, meeting rooms. The hotel has 757 rooms. It's one of the largest hotels in the state. I think it is the largest, actually.
I know it's got the largest ballroom.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and the Marriott did a preview of the upgrades in New York City, I think a few weeks ago. The lobbies will have more of a town square feel, like communal tables, privacy booths that you can make phone calls in. They'll also have collaboration suites that you can rent, and like a kind of small meeting space. They'll also have a coffee bar that'll transform into a bar at night. The rooms will have like adjustable desks that they've been working on for like 6 years, which is kind of amazing.
That's a long time for a desk.
Let's get this right, guys. So that's the desk will be adjustable. The walls will be 3-dimensional, so they'll reduce sound, which I don't know what that means.
Sounds like sound panels.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and then the bathroom will be a little bit larger with a 6-foot shower and a 5-foot vanity.
Oh, don't forget the most important part here. The vanities will have smart mirror with LED lighting.
Because that's what I need to see is my ugly mug, at a little bit
really lit really well. I'm not sure if
what makes it a smart mirror?
That's what I was about to ask. The smart mirror.
There's a video camera.
Well, all right. No, so all kidding aside, I have seen several demonstrations online of people making smart mirrors that have like weather displays on them and like daily schedules, stuff like that.
Cool, yeah.
Now
it's only solemn for someone abuses that though.
Right. Well, I'm looking at the AL.com article now, and it doesn't go further into that. It just says smart mirror with LED lighting and dimming. So I'm curious about that. But overall, this is really cool. Like, this is a hotel that's been around as long as I can remember personally.
It was built in the 80s, yeah.
Right. It's a huge hotel. It's right there next to the BJCC.
Yeah, it's connected to the Civic Center.
Exactly.
So,
gets
convention center.
Ton of our business in the city. This is great. Like,
you ever stayed at the Sheraton?
I have actually never stayed. I've been in there, but I've never stayed there.
I don't know that I've ever set foot in there. And I think the smart mirrors, from what I'm seeing, is exactly what you're talking about with weather displays and maybe the news, or
so you come in and maybe link your phone, or they already have a certain stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Set up on it.
I stayed at the Sheraton back in, I think it was 2006. Went to a ball here in Birmingham, and got to stay at the Sheraton. It was really, really nice. It's a great hotel, and it's centrally located, and it's got the convention space right next to it. There's no reason why this shouldn't be upgraded.
Especially with all the updates coming to the BJCC.
Right, exactly. And the cool thing is that when Sheraton bought Starwood also owns Weston, Aloft, which is, I guess, in Homewood, and, of course, Sheraton, which is downtown. So, I mean, the Sheraton and Weston will be owned by the same companies. So you'll see more of, I guess, it could be more of collaboration, but also it's no more competition. It's just all kind of everybody working together. So this is big news. I mean, this is going to be a big renovation. They don't know when this is going to start yet. But I would imagine they'd want to get this off the ground here in the next year and a half.
I'd imagine they want to be done before the renovations were done at BJCC.
And those are forthcoming as well. So
I believe I read that they're actually closing the BJCC either this week or coming up in the next week to start those renovations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Closing it?
Yes. Well, certain parts of it as they do the renovations. Not
okay,
the whole.
so they're just going to shut down certain areas.
Yeah.
Speaking of opening and closing, this has nothing to do with the BJCC, but everything to do with, I guess, construction. They're reopening a couple ramps downtown that they've been working on for the past.
Starting tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's big news.
The 2059 ramps.
Yeah.
There should be 2 new ramps open.
When is all the construction downtown going to be done? Never, probably. But, I mean, like that construction on those interstates, I mean, it's been going on for a while now.
Well,
yeah,
so
it's probably going to continue.
That construction started officially last year.
Right.
Having worked in different aspects of that kind of thing before, I wouldn't count on it all being done in the next year. There's so many things that go into it with
Tell us how
AlDOT and contractors, and it's insane. There's so many moving parts. So,
but did y'all see there was like a kind of an overview of like what all the different ramps are going to be and like where they're taking? Did y'all see that in the news?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty interesting. I'll have to find the article. We'll put it in the show notes about. It was somebody's like overview of like what exactly they're doing, like branching stuff off and sending it around so that they're not having to like merge as much. So they're taking some of the malfunction out of Malfunction Junction. Hopefully.
We'll find a way to screw it up.
Oh, yeah.
Birmingham drivers, we'll find a way.
If I remember right, Malfunction Junction is actually in several books on traffic flow and like
of what not to do.
It's because it's very unique. There's only a few of them like it in the United States, and it is kind of a cluster. You know, I mean, everybody knows that here, but when you look at it, it's a notable design.
Yeah, you know, speaking of road construction, something me and you talked about before, Patrick joined the show, is the new lane they're adding on the ramp on 459, getting off on 280. Mm-hmm. They've started on that now.
Have they really?
You've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it going to work on 280, Patrick.
I have not noticed it. I usually don't go that way.
Which way? How do you go?
I usually go Cowboy River Road.
Oh.
Skip the 459.
Aren't you special?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they've started that, and it's kind of coming along pretty quickly. It's not really affecting traffic that much, but you can tell that it's going to make a big difference when they finally open it. So.
Are you talking about getting off of 459 onto 280?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. Where they like both lanes merge together.
There you
have
go.
to like swap sides.
Yeah.
If going the other way.
Exactly.
There's a big story about this.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
So that started, and we'll keep you updated on that. So that's kind of our news section.
Yeah, it was kind of a slow week this week news-wise.
Yeah. So let's take a break here from our friends over at Beach and Woodworks, and we'll be back with the rest of the show. Beach and Woodworks is a locally owned and operated wood shop in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in custom furniture and small home goods. Chris and K&M Beecham create a wide variety of unique pieces of all sizes, ranging from cutting boards to farmhouse tables. Using wood sourced from Alabama sawmills, Beach and Woodworks creates affordable quality pieces that will be a one-of-a-kind fixture for your home. So support your local woodworker and visit redmountainexpress.com/woodworks or check them out on their Facebook and Instagram accounts. Beach and Woodworks, turning your house into a home. And we're back. In funny news, we had a manhunt this week on peaches. Guy stole, 2 baskets of peaches?
A couple buckets of peaches,
and they had a manhunt.
A manhunt.
I mean, like, seriously? Like, I saw that, and I was like, manhunt underway. I was like, oh, my God, what did this guy do? And it's like, he stole a couple of baskets of peaches. Now, look, not saying you should steal things.
Stealing is wrong.
But, like, really? We had a manhunt for this guy? Like...
It must have been a slow night
Yeah.
at the police station.
Y'all could have saved some money on overtime by going to the Piggly Wiggly and just getting a bunch of peaches and just sitting them back down. I mean, just reimburse.
I haven't bought peaches in a while. Like, I don't know what the price is.
Like,
Maybe
Yeah, I
even-
mean, what is
you
this,
know
like
that guy,
$100 worth of peaches? I mean, that's a lot of peaches.
it really is.
You know that guy didn't know what he was getting into.
Right.
He
Just
never
gotta take
expected
couple
a
things.
manhunt
No,
over these
man.
peaches.
But like, it was a. Look, do you think it was really a manhunt?
Just
you think
follow the
or do you-
trail of the
or do you-
pits as you go, right?
Do you think AL.com just called it a manhunt, or do you think it really was a manhunt? I think it really was
I
a
think they
manhunt.
probably, it was like,
Yeah, I mean, if you had 4 or 5 guys chasing after this man,
that's a manhunt.
that's a manhunt.
Oh my lord!
At least it wasn't like a high-speed pursuit down the interstate. That would have been a lot different.
Just try.
high-speed chase.
I would have
for
just.
peaches.
What if I
Hey,
would
those
just?
are Chilton County peaches, all right?
I'd have
Those
just
are
thrown
the
those
best in the
peaches out.
world.
Like, here, you can have them. I'm done. Like,
Please take this basket.
yeah.
Really? Oh, let me give you the $20.
Peaches are good. You a peach fan?
I love
Patrick?
peaches.
How about you, Matthew? You like peaches?
I like homemade peach ice cream.
Homemade peach.
I didn't
That's
ask-
a very specific peach.
I don't like peach.
I like all sorts of like homemade ice creams, but homemade peach ice cream,
See, I didn't ask you if you liked ice cream. I asked you like peaches.
I'm not a huge peach fan by itself. But homemade peach ice cream
Wait.
or a peach cobbler, I just don't want to like physically have a peach.
Like, do you like peach
you don't
skin?
like the fuzz? I don't love
I don't
the,
love
Oh
the
no! I
fuzz.
just
The
do,
way it
do you
feels
like
in my teeth.
Do you peel yours first, or do you?
I
I just bite right into it.
sometimes I could go either way. It depends on what day it is, but usually I don't love the fuzz.
Well, they had the Chilton County. I think it was the Peach Festival was this past week, so maybe that was part of it. But
These
Did
were
he
the
steal them
prize-winning
at
peaches.
Prize-winning peaches.
I mean,
I don't want to belittle somebody's peaches. I don't know anything about these peaches or this man, but this.
I mean, they probably looked tasty. He was hungry, and he was just like, "I'm
If
gonna
the
take
picture I saw
peaches.
was accurate, these were big baskets of peaches.
yeah."
Like
Are we talking about like a basket, like
I'm talking like a laundry basket.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you carry 2 laundry baskets worth of peaches without
I
somebody
mean,
going,
Nick-
"Hey, dude,
Those are not.
those
your
are our
peaches.
peaches."
That's not your. First of all, whoever was on duty to watch the peaches, it gets fired. You know, like Tom, you were supposed to watch the peaches.
We had
and
to
you-
have a manhunt.
It was
Man,
the end of
like,
the peach festival.
fired.
Everybody had some peach wine. Nobody was watching the peaches.
All right.
I like the new format. How about y'all? I mean, we get to talk about just whatever we want to talk about in the second half of the show.
I think we figured no one's listening at this point. So
I hope somebody is listening. I hope there are people that get some kind of entertainment and maybe
Yeah.
some information from.
So we have a Patreon account now. Do you think we'll get someone that'll give us like $1 and say, please do not talk too much on the second half of the show?
No, but if they pay, what is it, $20, then they can pick their own topic and
we'll talk about that.
yeah.
All right.
So how was y'all's week?
Patrick?
It's been a good week. So my in-laws, my mother-in-law and her husband came into town they were in Atlanta, and then they decided to come on over and stay for my son's 3-year-old birthday party, which we had today, which was awesome. We had
I
it
hate
out
I
at the
missed it,
splash
but,
pad
yeah.
out at Sacred Hollow. Which, have you guys been out there?
No. It's Liberty Park?
It's kind of behind Liberty Park. It's a brand new splash pad, and they have this awesome pavilion. It's a huge splash pad and like playground. It's brand new basically, and it's awesome. That's the first time I'd actually been out.
Is it
there.
like a free splash pad? You just go?
Yeah, you just go, show up. They have actually, I thought it was cool. They have like a little time, like it's timed.
Mm-hmm.
So like if nobody's there, it's off, and it's there. You just like put your hand in front of the button, and it comes on for like 15 minutes.
How awesome is that?
That's
Yeah, it's really cool. It's conserve water or whatever. So if
Mhm.
nobody's there, it's not like just blasting water. You just go up there, and it would cut off, and it would get really quiet. And it was weird. And then one of the kids would go run and press the button, and all the water would start again.
That is cool.
It's really cool. I
It
really
was a good
like
day for it. It was pretty hot today.
Yeah.
It was, but it was actually nice. The rain held off, which
Mm-hmm.
thank goodness. That was a source of a lot of stress. It was like, is it going to rain? Are we going to have people at our house? Are we going to go? But the rain held off. Everybody came. It was great.
My daughter discovered the splash pad at the zoo last time we went
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and she loved it. She loves the water, so I mean, it's we're gonna try that out now.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you want to go, we'll go.
Yeah, we'll do it. Matthew, how was your week?
My week was mostly uneventful.
Full of baby poo.
Well, there's always baby poo. That's just part of life now. And it's, you know what, for right now, it's really not that bad. He's not old enough for it to be bad yet. So
Just wait.
Give it a while.
I'm not.
Wait till he starts eating like vegetables, and it just gets bad.
I'm not wishing away these early days, like by any means. But everything's great. Went today to Talladega National Park and did some trail riding for a couple hours, and man, I did a 10-mile trail at one point that took us about an hour and a half to drive on, and it felt like
in your car. I thought you were like on a bike here.
No, I felt like I was being beat with a stick. Like I'm sore right now just from riding in the Jeep. Like
That's when you're getting old.
Trail riding, I assume. Bicycle.
Yeah, I thought you were like a bike, with the helmet on.
Look,
with a GoPro.
Those of you listening can't see me, but you two know better. Come on, like you see me here.
It sounded like something you might do.
No, I mean I think like when you said I would, I definitely think you would trail ride like that. Not me. Like if I said trail ride,
you owned a Jeep.
If I said trail ride that it was in a Jeep. I'm definitely not on a bike.
All right, so let me tell you why I don't do bicycle sports. I lived in Louisville for 5 years. And during that time, I did have a bike because it's a nice city. There's plenty of places to get around on a bicycle. And about a year into my bicycle ownership, riding down the road one night with some friends and decided to hop my bike from the street into the sidewalk, and there was a curb there. And instead of hopping it appropriately, I hit the curb and fell off my bike and smashed my head into the sidewalk.
So
no
that's
helmet.
What's wrong with you? Yeah.
No helmet?
No helmet.
What in the world?
I was a young college student. I wasn't really wearing helmets back in the day.
Had you been
didn't drink.
Enjoying beverages?
I wasn't a drinker back then.
That's right. You were in seminary.
That's right. May have had a minor concussion. I did lose peripheral vision for about 24 hours in both eyes.
I'd say that's a definite on the concussion.
Worked in a hospital though, so went to work that night and had the nurses check me out to make sure everything was okay. They didn't see anything wrong.
Walking covered in blood, and they were like,
my face was pretty tore up.
So that ended the bike.
So I quit riding bike. Well, the bike was stolen from my garage about a week later, which was like a message from God, like maybe you shouldn't have a bike.
What it was is your friends came and took it from you.
That is very possible.
Kill himself.
So I don't really do bike stuff very often anymore.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Now, had you jumped on curbs like that before, or was this kind of like a new, we're going to try this?
I'd ridden that bike miles and miles around the city. It was a great way to get out, because at night, especially during like the late summer, early fall, it felt great. Like the humidity was really low, the temperature was always perfect, and there were, like I said, lots of places to ride around at. This was just one of those freak accidents, and it kind of shook me.
I bet it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you lose your vision, that's when you know it's time to
Complete
give it up.
Peripheral vision was gone. Oh, just nothing.
Were you like worried at some point, like this is it?
I was scared to go to sleep that night, even though the nurses already seen me and be like, "No, you're probably okay."
You're probably that word's never good. You're probably okay. There's a possibility.
You may not die.
They couldn't say I was certainly okay because
they're not doctors.
Well, they weren't my nurses or my doctors, so I got free treatment.
Nah.
What
about you, Blake?
My week was pretty uneventful. At my office, we're doing some renovations, and this past week I was kind of put in like charge of it. Like whenever the boss is not there, he's like, "Yeah, you're handling this." I'm like, "What? What is it? What is it? What's going on now?" And so like it's like every day we go talk to the foreman who is like running everything, and you're like, "The cabinet's coming today?" No, they're supposed to be here today, but they'll be here tomorrow, and they're never. They finally showed up on Friday. And I was like, man, I've never seen you do anything but drink coffee and eat a donut. So, but
he's waiting on his cabinet.
He's waiting on the cabinets.
Cabinets good.
Yeah, but no, I mean, actually, the guy's really nice, and he, it puts up with all of us, and they've actually been pretty quiet for the past 3 months while they've been doing some renovations. So that's been going on at my office. Other than that, it's just kind of been a quiet week, and not been really doing much. Just making it through, man. Kind of ready for take Wednesday off and then recharge. But everybody I know this week's going on vacation.
I was gonna say, are you doing anything for the 4th?
We're thinking about going to Thunder on the Mountain. But the problem is that fireworks don't start till 9,
and your baby's asleep by then.
Yeah, Maggie goes to bed at 7:30, so maybe a little bit later after that. So
I think we're actually gonna keep the boys up and go see them this year.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, Liz loves fireworks. That's like one of her favorite things in the world. So
fireworks are awesome now.
I think if we can. We'll either get a babysitter and not take them and go see them, or we'll try and keep them up and take them to go see them. I don't know. They may pass out in the car, and then that's fine, too.
Right, yeah.
Just put their little headphones on while they're in the car, and they'll just sleep right through it.
Maggie has these these earphones that we've used before. That I mean, they're great, but
the boys slept through we were at Disney, and they had those on, and they slept through one. I think Wesley slept through the electric light parade and the fireworks. Oh. I'm like, dude, do you want to see this? Yeah. Nope, headphones on. He was out. He was done.
But at the same time, you're like, those headphones were a great investment.
Yeah, the headphones were great. I mean, he didn't budge.
I tell you what I did do. Yesterday, I went to the Keep Families Together rally that was downtown at Kelly Ingram Park. Our church, we had a bunch of folks meet at the church, and then we kind of marched over there, and they had some speakers talking about the separation of families at the border, which we were kind of protesting because I think it's terrible, especially when you put kids in cages, but that's just, my opinion. But they had a really good crowd out there, some really good speakers, and so that was something that happened downtown. It was hot. I mean, God, it was hot.
But you were wearing white.
I was wearing white, yeah. And then in the middle of it, my daughter decided to pee on me. So,
It's very kind of her.
Yeah, very kind of her. So,
won't be the last time.
No, it wasn't the first, won't be the last, But back to the rally was really good. They had a ton of people there.
What do you think the turnout was, if you had to guess?
It's a few thousand. Yeah. I mean, it had to be
I think nationally there was a good turnout.
It was like 800 different cities this week. This is one of those issues that especially in the hyper-partisan environment we live in, where everybody's 50-50 at this point. If you look at this one issue, it's like 75% of Americans agree that you need to keep families together. So this is one of those issues that a lot of people will agree on. The rally was downtown. I was at Kelly Ingram Park. They had a really good crowd. We had to leave early because, like I said, my daughter peed on me.
You just own that.
I was told that Woodfin was going to speak, but I don't know if he did. So I don't know if y'all had heard that he did or not. But we kind of stood in solidarity with the folks that were getting separated on the border. So that was kind of an event I went to this weekend. So
awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Matthew? Are you doing anything for the 4th? Going anywhere?
So having a child that is less than 8 weeks old, we will probably not try to bring him into large crowded areas. He also will probably not appreciate the fireworks. And my wife and I would probably appreciate the sleep. If we can get him to bed before the fireworks would start, we will probably go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what.
So I'm going to say no.
You're about to become an old man because once that child goes to sleep and someone next door pops off some black cats at 9:30.
You'll be out there on the lawn shaking your cane at him going, look, what are you doing? I just got that kid to sleep.
Those are illegal in the city limits, boy.
That won't be a huge change for me. Yeah. I've been an old man for the last 20 years, so bring it on, I guess. No, our neighborhood usually pretty good. Last year around 4th of July, there was some rogue fireworks here and there for the next few days, but for the most part, it wasn't that bad.
It doesn't bother me as much on the 4th of July, but when people start pre-celebrating 3 or 4 nights before, I'm like, what was that? And I'm like, oh, it's almost the 4th.
Dude, it's July 1st.
But I'm like, it's July 1st. Stop it.
Or then you get to July 7th and people are still doing it. You're like, all right, come on. Shoot all these things off. Get rid of them.
Just go ahead and get rid of them. Yeah. Don't save them up.
No. Yeah. You'll have more fun if you shoot them all at once.
It's July 1st. Hey, look, man, they were still writing this Declaration of Independence, so let's hold off. It's July 4th. Talk about being an old man. I think this was a couple months ago. Some kid has a dirt bike near where I live, and he rode it through my front yard. I was sitting there. He was riding through my front yard, and then he went down the street and he came back through, and I stopped him. I was like, "Hey, you live here?" And he goes, "No." I was like, "That's right, you don't live here. Go back down that way." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Do you not know?
Why is he riding a dirt bike through your yard?
Because I don't know. I do not know. I was like, "Hey, you live here?" No. I was like, "Then get out of my yard." It's just like,
I want to find that kid and give him $5 just to keep riding through.
Oh, I'm sure he's a good kid, but I had a long day.
Oh yeah, you don't ride through somebody else's yard.
He was dirt biking through my yard, and then I remember a couple Maggie had went to sleep, and this was back when she had sleep regressions, and we were not sleeping at all, and we finally got her to bed, and it was 9 o'clock at night. And then some kid in a 4-wheeler or a 3-wheeler was in the church parking lot not far from our house, was doing wheelies through it at 9 o'clock and woke Maggie up.
Oh, no.
And I'm gonna tell you what, I'm glad the kid left because I was upset, very upset. So anyway, welcome to the old man club. Have you told anybody to slow down in your neighborhood yet, Patrick?
No, we don't have a lot of traffic in our neighborhood. There's really nobody to yell at.
The first time that happens, you're like, oh, my God.
The fireworks almost got me a couple times. I'm like outside, like, who's doing that? If I knew them, I'm going to call them.
Walking around smelling for firework smell.
And it's Liz in the backyard, probably, with her flag. That's going to conclude this episode of Red Mountain Express. Please be safe this week during 4th of July. Please do not drink heavily and participate in fireworks, because that would just be bad.
It's not a good recipe.
Not a good recipe. If not, 911 is the number you need to call, and the folks at UAB, St. Vincent's, Brookwood Baptist, and our lovely healthcare folks will take care of you. For Matthew Joyner and Patrick Tucker, I'm Blake Westbrook. We'll see you next week.